Story time. I'm going to be telling you about my trip to California with me and my family. So, we went on a flight from Dallas to California. We went to San Diego first, the flight was about 2.5 hours, I think. And we got there, and it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. It was pretty late. So, the first thing we did was when we got off the plane, we met our grandma's little brother. We called him Grandpa Benji. That's what we called him. So Grandpa Benji picked us up from the airport, and we went and got something to eat at a nearby restaurant in National City. And then after that, we went to his house in San Diego. And at his house in San Diego, so I was getting the bags from the back of the car, right? And then I heard barking, and I was like, oh, there's a dog. So I went straight into the house to see the dog, and then there the dog was. The dog's name was Sassy. I might put in a picture. Yeah, I'll put in a picture. So, Sassy, not Sassy. And she immediately barks at me. She walks up to me and she starts licking my toes. That's the first thing she does. Sassy just starts licking my toes. And then, so after we got all the bags down and stuff, me and my sister, my older sister, she's 16, her name is Jamie. And, me and my sister Jamie were exploring the house. And then I saw the backyard, I guess you could say. It's not really a backyard. It's like just an area. Yeah, it's a backyard, I guess. It's a small backyard. And it was dark out, right? So like when it's dark and you're looking through a glass window, you usually just see your reflection, and the only way you can see through the glass window is if you put your face up against it and look through the glass window like that. So yeah, that's what I did, and I started from up looking down because there was a view because it's elevated because San Diego, California, it's got some hills. So it was elevated, so there was a view. You could see the rest of the neighborhood down there. And then I started looking from up to down. And as I started going down, there's just this huge husky staring right at me. And I was just like, whoa, there's a dog there. And I didn't realize that there was a dog there. And I literally fell. I fell to the ground because I was so scared. I was surprised. But then, so the dog's name was Rocky. I was asking Grandpa Benji, is this dog supposed to be here? Is this your dog? And then he was like, oh yeah, that's Rocky. That's our dog. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so yeah, we rested up. We got some sleep. And then the next morning, we started exploring San Diego. So basically what we did in San Diego, we went to beaches. We went to a bunch of different beaches. And I collected some sand from all the beaches and then put them in little Ziploc bags, which I then put into little glass vials to collect them as souvenirs, little souvenirs. So first beach we went to, I think, was Mission Beach, and we went to Belmont Park, where it's a theme park and stuff. So there's rides and carnival games and whatnot. I rode the bumper carts and yeah, and I did the zip line because I was too scared to go on the gigantic roller coaster. Don't blame me, okay? It was a big roller coaster. I went phew. Yes? I swear, I just heard someone else. This place haunted? So yeah, it was a big roller coaster. It had gigantic loops. It had 3 loops. Oops, I just moved the camera there a little bit. Yeah, so it had these gigantic loops, so I didn't want to ride it. And then the rest of the rides were big and obnoxious and scary, so I didn't ride those. And then so after that, we the next day, because we basically spent the day touring San Diego, and the last place we went to was Mission Beach that day. And the next day, we went to 5 different beaches. We went to I think Coronado Bay and then Coronado Beach, and then we went to La Jolla Cove. I think we saw the sea lions and the seals and stuff. And then we went to Scripps Beach. Scripps Beach was my favorite beach because it's the beach where I actually got to swim. I didn't get to swim in any of the other beaches. And Scripps Beach was a really nice beach, and it was pretty fun. And then to end the day out, we went to Grandpa Benji's his boat. He had this 3-level boat where it had 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, well, half baths. One half bath, 1 full bath. And then it had a kitchen and 2 living areas. Yeah, it was a pretty big boat. It was a nice boat. So we spent the night there, and then not really spent the night. We spent a couple hours there, and then when it was starting to get dark, then we went back to Grandpa Benji's house. Then we went to sleep, and then we spent a couple more days in San Diego just touring around. And then like on like the second to last day we were staying in San Diego, I think we went to the USS Midway. It's like it's a stationed aircraft carrier, and then we did like a whole tour, and it was pretty cool. And it was cool because I went with my uncle Marvin, who's actually been on an aircraft carrier, because my uncle Marvin, he's a Navy Reserve, and he's served in the Navy, and so yeah, we got a discount because we had him with us. And then after that, after we spent our time in San Diego, we drove to LA, which was like a 5-hour drive, and then we stopped by this place. I think it was Santa Monica. I'm not very sure. So Santa Monica, there was this like cathedral. I think no, it wasn't a cathedral. It was just a big church, and my family likes, my mom especially, she likes like visiting big churches. Let's get that out of the way and stuff. So yeah, she likes visiting big churches. So we visited that church. No, it was a mission church. It's like the Alamo in Austin. Is it in Austin? No, that's in San Antonio. So yeah, so it was like a mission church, and then it was yeah, and so we visited there, and then we went to LA. We went to Hollywood first. So Hollywood was, let me straighten out the camera. So Hollywood was really cool, and so the first thing we did was we went to the mall in Hollywood, and we went like shopping for shirts and stuff. And the mall was like extremely huge. Like we got to the center of the mall, and it was like the roof was open, and there were these like big giant statues of people and dragons and stuff, and I thought it was really cool. And there was this giant fountain in the middle, and me and my sister were pretty sick. Like we're having runny noses and congestion and sore throats and stuff. It's probably because of the weather changes like I'm having now, because when we just recently flew back to Dallas from California. And then so my sister was like, do not get wet, and I was like, I want to get wet though. And she was like, no, do not go into the fountain, you're already sick, you're gonna get sicker. And I was like, okay, fine. And then so we started like and then after we went to the mall, we just went to the streets of Hollywood and started going around the place, you know. And then we saw like Robert Downey Jr.'s like handprints and footprints in the like Chinese theater. And then we just started walking the streets. And then we went to Randy's Donuts, a pretty famous donut place. And then what did we do after that? Oh, we went home after that. Yeah, so we went home to my mom's aunt, I think. Yeah, we went home to my mom's aunt's place, and we chilled there for like half an hour, I guess. And then we went to my aunt's place, and we stayed there. They lived like a minute away from each other. It's pretty close. And so we stayed there, and they had two dogs, Koichi and Momo, and they could do tricks. And then I'll probably like show a video of them doing tricks here. Like up, hold, sit, down, Koichi down, crawl. Okay, Koichi back up. Okay, Koichi catch. Because they were well trained, so if you just did like the right stuff, like said the right stuff and did the right hand motions, then they'd follow what you say and do the tricks. And yeah, and then so we stayed there at my aunt's house, and it was amazing. It was a really, really cool house. We ate dinner, we watched Coco, Disney's Coco on Netflix, and then they showed us our rooms, and we got to stay in this amazing Star Wars room. Like, the whole room was themed Star Wars. It was really cool. It was really decorated. They had, like, an R2-D2 Xbox, and they had, like, just Star Wars figures everywhere, and there were, like, Star Wars paintings here and Star Wars paintings here, and it was so cool. I got to sleep, like, next to a Darth Vader picture. That was kind of creepy, but, yeah. So, I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to make a part 2, because we just... in this video, I just talked about San Diego and LA. But in the next video, I'm gonna be talking about like Universal Studios and San Francisco, and then going back to San Diego last couple of days before we go back to Dallas.
Just let me know, so I wanna you. Just let me lose your interest. Maybe find a better things. Just let go, you leave. Just let me know, so I wanna you. You leave. Just let me